Morning everybody, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself world, and today I want to talk to you about something different and actually give my mom credit for this line. Homesteading is not just about gardening, actually it's a way of life. Most homesteaders also become self-sufficient in some way. Mine happens to be currently processing firewood, but a lot of people make a living from their own land, from their food and vegetables, animals that they produce on their own land. Our land doesn't provide that well because of the conditions here, where we live in a dry sand prairie, it's called, and it's colder at night, hotter in the day, and dry. It's like a desert here. When it rains, for some reason it bypasses us most of the time. So this has become my main source of income here. Quite often though, it means making your own materials. Many homesteaders do have a sawmill and make their own lumber. There are a lot of aspects to homesteading. Here we are in my orchard with my herb beds. Pretty much the only thing that grows here is herbs. I have some apple trees I have tried to grow through the years, but in this climate, in these conditions, it's very hard to grow. I do have some hardy ones that are surviving, but herbs are the toughest plants here, and I am also learning to work with the native plants. I have raspberries, which I'm starting to let grow in different patches. I have different native plants that have various medicinal and food values. So homesteaders have to work with the environment they're in. Some people live in warmer areas, some in colder, and some in very harsh conditions like sand, pure sand, and it's slightly acidic sand, so it's very hard to grow anything. Therefore, the raised beds are my only option for growing herbs, and thyme, oregano is one of the main things that grows here. This video was brought on by a comment. I try to read all the comments and I try to reply to them all, and somebody mentioned, oh, chickens is part of homesteading. I'm sure you hear the rooster trying to compete with me. Somebody had mentioned how I was showing nothing but the smelting videos for a while there. And another part of homesteading is everything you do revolves around the weather. I'm in a t-shirt now. We haven't been in a t-shirt much at all yet this year. We had some 24, 25 degree mornings for a few days in a row, followed by a 30 degree day. And before that, it was almost like January, February weather for a while here. We didn't think spring would ever come. Suddenly, like somebody flipped a switch 4 or 5 days ago, it became hot. I mean, really hot. So hot that everything was dying around here. And now we have to water heavily. So homesteaders have to become very flexible as well. But the fact is, we are only just now planting. Only now. This is the weekend after Memorial, which for our area is when we plant. So the comment also asked about, why are you not planting your garden right now? You should be planting. Well, what people don't realize, because they're not from here, is this is our zone and the planting time is here and now. I haven't mowed yet. I have a friend that's been mowing for a month or two, and we're only just getting to the point where the grass is going to have to be mowed for the first time. And we only mow 3 to 4 times a year here. It's just that dry. Nothing grows that well unless you're watering it. So being a homesteader, you just have to be really flexible. And so there was no gardening going on. And my firewood business is the primary, where I spend most of my time is in the firewood business. That's number one. And then based on the weather or what's going on, I might melt some metal, which by the way is going to be a source of income. It is a secondary business that I'm going to be working on. And once I become good at it, boy, the gnats are out too now. Once I become good at it, the smelting and later on forging will become a secondary source of income. When it's too hot out or raining out, you're not going to be out in the woods processing firewood, or on extreme windy days. It's dangerous to fell a tree. I don't do it. It's just dangerous. But anyway, so I'm going to have a rainy day job, which will be the metal melting. And so I felt it was appropriate to explain that and make a really good video along the way. You know, a lot of people, they sell chicken eggs, or they sell vegetables and products from their own land, which, by the way, the sand cherries and the sweet fern that grow wild here, I'm going to start selling this year. There's a couple other plants around here. Wild blueberries, they're just too slow to pick, but we harvest them heavily our own selves. And as I said, the raspberries, we're letting them grow in larger patches. But I will eventually start working into having products from our own land instead of working against nature and trying to change nature. We're going to work with nature and work with what's there, what grows here. And so that's it. Oh, wild cherries, that's another one. And that's part of homesteading, is learning to adapt. And if you follow homesteaders and their stories, most of them don't just jump into a new environment, buy land, and everything grows beautifully and wonderfully. It is hard for quite a few years until you learn the land, you learn about the environment where you live, and learn to adapt and grow what you can, or build mounds and grow what you want in your own controlled conditions. So homesteading is about adapting. Big time, a lot about adapting. For many, homesteading is also about off-grid living, providing your own power, providing your own resources. For us, that is part of it. We're still striving to become fully off the grid since we moved to a proper home, and with all the resources we need here to keep it running, like a lot of water. But the solar offsets that a lot. And most homesteaders try to become fully self-sufficient in some way or another, and some all the way. Some succeed all the way. One day we will, and we are, if we consider financially, mostly self-sufficient. We're close. We're very close on solar as well. Very close. A lot of homesteaders, I cut my head off, try new things as well. And forging is something that you will be seeing on my videos in the future. Actually, there's a video coming up, very brief, showing my latest experiment. Right now, I'm standing next to my raspberry prison. I've got netting up and fencing all the way around, and I've saved a beautiful raspberry patch to grow up on its own. I mean, they're nice here. This is beautiful. Part of homesteading, as I said before, is adapting. Everything in the world wants to eat what you try to grow. I don't know why. There's the whole world out there available to them. We're surrounded by state land and wild land. Let's see, state land, our wild land, and somebody else's wild land. And we might have to have chicken for dinner because he's trying to compete with me. Follow me around competing with me. Everything wants to eat what you have. No matter what's out there in the world, they all want to eat what you have. You have to protect and fence in what you want to keep. And a lot of homesteaders learn that the hard way. So did we. The deer will eat your food. The rabbits will eat your food. Squirrels, chipmunks, everything will come and try to eat your food. The chickens will try to eat your food. And so I've got heavy chicken wire 16 inches high on the bottom along here. We've got a gate to enter and a large patch here fenced off. And finally, after a couple years, we've got a large growing berry patch, which has been my dream. This is just absolutely a dream of mine right here. And this year, we're going to have a beautiful harvest, finally. Behind me here is a Saskatoon, which grows like 12 feet tall. It's like a blueberry in texture and flavor, appearance and flavor. Texture's a little different, but this is going to grow abundantly. So I've taken a plant that was already here, and I'm protecting it from attacks from outside harm, and mulch around it and water it as needed, and we're getting abundant fruit this year. So you got to work with your environment and not against it. Now, as a homesteader and a YouTuber, notice the gnat proofing. I branch off a lot of my work, and based on feedback from people, I separated off the firewood processing business into Country Wood Products channel. And it makes sense because I have a website and business cards and a channel. So that fits. But on my main channel, I will be doing a lot of things that some people don't want to see. So you guys can just skip that. Like if I'm doing metalworking during a period of bad weather, and that is what will be, then just skip it. You know, you don't have to get mad at me or upset that I'm not doing something that you think I should be doing, because not your fault, but you don't know the environment here at the time. And it's hard for me to think of all the aspects that go into my daily life, because we're here, we're living it, we go with the flow. You know, if it's 100 degrees in the yard, then I'm not going to be out here doing firewood or gardening, because it'll kill the plants instantaneously, which is why we haven't got our garden in yet. We only have a brief period in the morning, and right now, because we have exceptionally high temperatures, and then it gets really scorching hot and sunny and dry. So we have a very brief window to plant. Anyway, so the video coming up is my first experiment ever in forging, and I thought it was really fun and cool, and I wanted to share that with you because I enjoy it. I was excited about it. So I hope that people understand. Not everybody's going to like everything I do on this channel, but I hope that everybody can get along and just skip ahead to the videos that you do enjoy. By the way, out of my 141,000 subscribers, only a few hundred of them are getting notifications. YouTube keeps changing the way things work. And so if you are following along and you have subscribed and not getting notifications, you have to click that again, and it opens up a whole menu that I think last time I looked, there's some other options, and you can click notifications. So it's no longer, there was a subscribe button and a bell icon, and they took that away and they've combined it. So check that out, guys, and if you do like to get notifications, click that extra button. I was told on cell phones it's easier, but on the computers now, I guess they're trying to work away from computers. I don't know what's going on, but it's not as easy to find. So if you're following along on computer, click that notification icon, and then hopefully you'll all get notifications and updates when I make a video, whether you want to see it or not. Please like this video. Talk to y'all later. Hit that bell.